guys, we are on video number 10 for our Pinterest inspired layout series. Now, this one is inspired by, or I pulled out an inspiration from my journaling board on Pinterest. I have a board where I save a lot of like maybe interview type of ideas, things that where I'm focusing on journaling. Those are the kinds of ideas that I want to pick up or I want to use. So I am doing a would you rather, or I should say, a would you rather questions with my daughter. And it was just fun. It was very interesting because I had typed up the would you, and I just pulled the questions from the specific pin that I had saved. And I think I changed it up just a little bit so that it will match the age of my daughter. But for the most part, it was like that. And then there were some questions that she was like, "What? Wait a minute. I can't just pick one or the other without an explanation." So I gave her a pocket card and she started writing on it, which I thought was really good. And it makes scrapbooking not just what I do, but then there's also that investment from my family, because not only did she explain her thoughts in her own words, but then she also wrote it, which I'm sure in like 20 or 30 years we will love looking at the way she explained it as a teenager, but also her handwriting. So if you are looking for ways to invite your family members into this hobby, journaling, having them answer questions or having them write the journaling is always one of my go-to ways of being able to incorporate them into this great hobby of mine. Now, I am also basing this layout from a sketch from Page Maps. I can't remember which month, but that's just because I needed an inspiration for the design. And the design of this the sketch had the design where there are strips of paper going behind the panel, the center panel, and then you have your photos and your journaling and all of that. I did change up a few things just because I only have 2 photos, and then I wanted my journaling to, of course, have a good placement and my layout, because that is the main inspiration for this. I did cut out my pink paper on the back as my border, and then I'm using the leftover paper of that for the panels that I've cut. I am using a very old paper collection from Echo Park. And it's one of those mini collections where you only have like 6 papers and then a 6x12 sticker sheet. So there's not a lot to work with, but that's fine with me. Again, the focus here is my daughter's journaling help. So as for photos, I had just pulled out some photos from, I think this was 2021, so it's not even this year, but these are some of the solos that she has that I already have prints of, so I'm just using that. And of course I'm going to write that down somewhere on the layout where, journaling is 2023 and then photos are 2021. Now, I did pre-print my journaling because I wanted that to be ready for her, so she can just put a star on her answer. And then I also left the top open because on the sketch it had the title on the top. I don't know yet like how big my title is going to be. I know I want it to be like, I want the title to be Would You Rather, but at this point I'm not quite sure how it's going to look like. I have pulled out the letter stickers that I want to use, but again, I don't know yet how it's going to be, so I'm just leaving that top part open. I printed the journaling in an 8.5 by 11 piece, and of course I just trimmed that down with the width, but I didn't trim down the length of it. I don't think I did, as far as I can remember. I am inking up the edges of the panels just so that it will stand out. I did use a very subtle pattern paper as the background just so that it will not ruin the, or not ruin, but go against the blocks of paper. Now this is the point where she had answered my would you rather. Oh, I'm sorry, I did not give her journaling block, but I just had her write on the bottom of that piece, which worked out really well because I honestly didn't know what I was going to put over there at this point. But another thing that was on the sketch was there was a horizontal strip that was going on underneath the photos, and that's going to be covered up by the journaling on the right side. So it's mostly so that there's a place holder for the photos, and I'm just using a sticker for that, which is really convenient because otherwise I would have had to pull out my scallop border punch. So like I've mentioned earlier, this is video number 10, and I usually do my video series 10 at a time, sometimes 5 if I can't think of anything else. So this is the last video that you will see for this particular series. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope that it has inspired you to look in your own Pinterest boards and pull out some ideas there, or if you had found my ideas to be inspiring, that you would have made something with the inspirations that I used as well. And if you are not a subscriber yet, I would appreciate if you would click that subscribe button and also the bell button so that YouTube will notify you when I post the next layout. I am trying to build this community, my little community, organically. I don't do any partnerships with any companies. I just don't do that anymore. I used to be very heavily involved in the scrapbook industry, as part in the publishing world, as well as, you know, design teams for companies, but I have since stepped away from that. So, but if you still would like to support my channel, please share it with somebody that you think would like my style of scrapbooking or would learn something from the videos that I create, and that would just help grow this channel and grow this community that we have. So I'm finishing up the title, and I did move it around because I didn't know, like I said, when I have these ideas, I don't know how it's going to look. So I like my titles to kind of be able to be moved around just so that it would fit better where I want it to be. Now I have these cut aparts, and these are just part of one of the papers. One of the papers have a bunch of cut apart sheets, and so I cut out 2 panels, and then I'm trimming this one down just because there was just too much blue and it will take up too much space. That it will cover up the pattern paper panel that I have in the background. So I'm just trimming that off so that all you will see is that frame and then also the flower. And I'm going to utilize actually the flower and kind of use that as a visual triangle of some sort, because I have the flower over there, and then I will have the flower over on the bottom side, and I think I would have, can't remember, probably I'm only going to have 2 flowers here, but I like that they're on 2 somewhat opposite sides of the layout so that you would still be able to kind of go from one point to the next. I have also cut out some words again from that same cut apart sheet and just adding them there. I like this one that says "You are beautiful" because she's a teenager, so she can be a handful sometimes, but I do appreciate her. She's one of my best friends in the world. Now, for answering the would you rather, I gave her a sticker sheet with some small stars, and that was her like way of checking off which one she would rather. So some of the questions here is, would you rather be able to fly for one day or be completely invisible for a day? The next one, would you rather never I'm reading it off of the camera. So, I mean, off of the screen. So can't quite see, but I will have the layout and the close-up shots in my blog. So make sure that you check my blog. The link is going to be in the description box below. I'm just finishing it up with a few more stickers here and there, and then I'm going to call it good. Again, thank you so much for spending time with me here, and I will see you guys in my next video. I'm not sure yet what my next series is, but it will come sooner or later. Have a good one, guys. Bye.